Before entering the stage, I was thinking of what are the ways that can make me less nervous. So I thought I could walk around the stage for one round so that I feel less nervous. And I did. And it worked. So save that for the next round. Okay, what if I tell you that my first leadership lesson came from a fish? A whole pond of them, actually. What kind of fish? This kind of fish. Yes, the fish that we eat, or the fish that we have as a pet at home. But before I introduce you to the fish, or introduce the fish to you, let me show you this picture. That's me at 12, and right there. It's the greatest man in my life. It's my dad. And look at that serious face he's got going on. Trust me, that is his version of a happy grin. And just like any classic loud energy dad, emotions under lockdown, but love overflowing, trust me. But if he smiled any wider, we would think that something is wrong. We'd start to panic. So that's how I grew up, in a country, Laos, right next to Thailand. So, this is the pictures of the fish that I told you. Imagine this 10 years ago when I was 12. One day, my dad came to me and he said, "Bebe," that's how he called me. "Can you go and feed the fish in our backyard pond?" I was like, sure, simple. So I did. I went to my backyard pond and I grabbed the fish food and dumped it into the pond and walked away. Job done. I felt so proud because just like I win something, I don't know, Olympics, medals. I went back to my dad. I said, "Dad, I finished fishing giving the food to the fish." And he went, "Bebe, what did you see?" I now shrugged. I looked at him like he had 3 different heads. Because what do you mean? What did I see? I said, "I saw a fish. I saw fish food. I saw the pond. What else should be there?" And he went, "How are the fish?" And I said, I suppose they're fine. Because asking the fish, "How are you?" and greeting them was not on my list. But after that, he did something that completely changed how I view leadership forever. He took my hand and walked me back to the pond and said, "Look again." And this time, I looked, and when I actually looked, I saw it. The fish were barely moving, like they're in slow motion, zombie mode. And the water smelled super terrible, like forgotten gym socks. The water was cloudy, was super dirty. There were also like the trash floating on the surface, like unwanted part, I guess. And those fish were dying. They were severely sick, and I had completely missed that. So he told me, "Bae, next time when you feed the fish, don't just dump the food and walk away. Look at the water. Because most of the time, we don't see problems, not because they're not there, not because they're invisible to the eyes, but we just decide that it's not our responsibility. I'm not the pond boss." So we chose not to care. But he said, "But if you want to save them, if you want to save the fish lives, you've got to take the lead. You've got to make your decision." So I did. I rolled up my sleeves I asked everyone in my family, I said, please come help me to clean the pond, to save the fish. And as you see in this picture, that was my dad pouring the food, trying to clean it, yeah. And this was my choice. And that decision did not just save the fish lives, it also built this leadership mindset embedded in me. And it shaped me into who I am today. Hi, everyone. My name is Bay. I'm from Laos, a 22-year-old entrepreneur. I've been working since a very young age, since I was 14, helping my family business. Hustlings in family businesses, starting my own ventures, don't ask, what are they? From cleaning service all the way to, alert technology. But I failed some of them. Well, actually, most of them. I'm just a girl, and I'm not here as some leadership guru with a corner table and a TED Talk trophy collections. No, and I have not accomplished any big thing on earth. I'm just a 22-year-old girl on her own journey who is constantly learning, unstoppingly messing up, but will always be leveling up. And my intention is simple, very, very simple, is that everywhere I go, I just want to leave it better than when I found it. And that's why I keep asking questions. That's why I keep sending proposals everywhere, even in classroom, in companies, in my own teams. And every person I meet, I just want them to walk away with something valuable. Maybe a spark, a laugh, or a nudge towards their better selves. And that is why every coffee grab with Bay always feel like a therapist session. Or a simple dinner table feels like we're having conversation about life, that we're going to change the world. Now, the intention of me today is to share you 3 shifts. Very simple one that I have learned, not from any ivory towers, but it's from battle-tasted life, in my scrapey entrepreneurial life. And this 3 shift has helped me to transform my leadership journey from suffocating with all the pressure to a fascinating journey. And if these 3 simple shifts can help a girl like me thrive, imagine what they could do for you. But before we jumped into those 3 little shifts, I would like to tell you what I mean by leadership. What is my definition about it? And forget all those glamorous fancy titles on LinkedIn or power suits or those viral keynotes, ego-boosting awards. No, for me, leadership is about sacrifice. It is all about you doing something for someone else. It sometimes means staying up very late at 4 a.m. preparing materials, reading documents, preparing for the next meeting. Just in case that when your team mess up, you can help them. It could mean sometimes that tapping onto your team's shoulder, saying, it's okay, it's gonna be fine, you've got this, no pressure. When all the pressure on earth is crashing on my shoulders. Well, it's hard. And we as leaders, we know it's super hard. It requires a strong heart, and it requires a love for the grind. But this is the price that you pay. This is the price that I pay of admission to having a meaningful life. So, let's talk about the first shift that I want to share. Shift 1, from blame to accountability. I remember this one scene so vividly, coming from that man again, my dad. There was one time we visited this one site, construction. We're doing construction, so I saw him. He was scolding at this one foreman because I think he messed up something But then he did not tell my dad. He was pointing at that man's face and said, "Why did you mess this up? Why did you not tell me?" And I was sitting in the car somewhere very near. I watched that scene and it hit me like a brick. Because why? Because for a moment, I feel like, oh, I understand that poor man. Because for me, whenever I mess up something, whenever I perform poorly in school, I never ever let my dad know. I would cover it up. I would lie to him. I would pray that he would never find out. Why? Because I did not feel safe. Because I know that he is going to blame me. So I decided to shift from blaming my people to taking accountability. So my suggestion to you is whenever a problem surfaces, whenever someone messes up something, the first thing you do is pause and ask yourself, how did I contribute to this problem? It's not because everything in your team is your fault, but it's because one rule I learned. If you are the leader, you're not accountable for the results, but you are responsible for everyone that creates that results. Therefore, when someone in your team messes up, that means you own part of that responsibility too. Not because you messed this up, but it's because that failure happened in the environment in which you are the one who decided. So with this shift, it could simply set up your mind into a different approach, where you don't start to blame, but you actually start to look at what you can do. Next, from repeating mistakes to building a learning system. Now, let me tell you, leaders, if you have encountered this situation where people keep quitting, deadline keeps slipping, and I don't know what to do about it. But something I can tell you, as a leader, you are the architecture. So you are the only person who allowed this problem to come back. And when problem come back, it's no longer a mistake. It is a design problem. And we are so capable of fixing the symptoms. When performance drop, we keep encouraging people to work more. We keep telling them, be more capable. We keep telling them, do more. But what happens after that? After a few weeks, the same problem comes back again. So instead of trying to fix the symptoms that is happening in your inner circle, you look at how the symptom is derived. You look at how the process is designed, how the decisions are made. And only then that you can start to make real progress by looking at the how, by fixing the how, not the symptom. And lastly, shift 3, from criticism to recognition. Ask yourself, when was the last time that you did praise someone in your team? I'm not saying the year-end peer performance review, something of that, or the thank you note attached on every end of the emails. No. I mean, to actually look at someone's eyes, tapping on their shoulder and said, thank you so much. I saw your efforts. I saw the improvement that you have made. Because leaders, we are so good at noticing what is wrong. We can spot that one character was spelled incorrectly from 500 miles away. But when it comes to someone who is doing good things, we treat it like we assume that they would deliver this good. We assume that this is the best line. But people do not repeat what get criticized. People repeat what get recognized. So, next time, please recognize what your team is doing. Please recognize what efforts they're putting in, not just criticizing. Because why? We are all in cloudy water. Every uncertainty is the only constant. We don't need a better talented leaders. We just need a human one. So next time, when any problems occur, do not ask who messed this up. Ask what kind of water did I create it. Thank you.